Yeah, I mean, just on technology, I mean that there is kind of a deeper question as well, which is, a lot of people have made this very radical criticism of industrial society, and people like Jacques Ellul or Ted Kaczynski, that there's just something inherent in technology in the way that it transforms our
Right, right,
attitude
right.
to
It's headed
nature
toward a
and to the world.
singularity. That singularity, that tech singularity, is like a black hole. You allow the wealth to be concentrated, and pretty soon the technology is also concentrated in the hands of the people who own all the wealth. Okay, and then that
Mm.
technology is turned against the rest of the species. A lot of people saw it coming, and it scared the hell out of them, and they behaved accordingly. But now we're seeing it's starting to happen. This is not just some sort of, oh, well, this is something we sort of have to deal with. No, no, no. This has been the program from Jump Street. Okay. We have to have a fundamentally changed outlook that allows us to avoid this this black hole that we're headed toward.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I
I
mean,
mean,
have you thought about even as it relates to CTMU, but this kind of deeper philosophical question that people like Heidegger raised, that technology and modernity itself leads to this kind of enframing where we start to quantify everything, and we start to see nature as like pure product to be exploited and extracted from. Have you thought about like, is that just as kind of a necessary effect of modernity, or is there a way that you can have technology, you can have technological progress, you can have all of the material things that we benefit, um, without having that kind of a technological enframing of our view of the world? Is there a way to kind of re-sacralize nature within modernity, in your opinion?
of course there is, but we're going to have a meta religion that causes this to happen. We're going to have to change the model of man. We're going to have to change how we view ourselves. It's a very fundamental kind of change that we need in order for that to happen. It's not just this is human tech. I talk about a human singularity. That's what it is. It's about changing the inner nature of man. Strengthening, hardening, immunizing man against these impossible futures that we face. On the one hand, you've got tech, which tends toward this tech singularity, which is basically annihilative. Okay, or you've got, on the other hand, if we don't pay any attention to technology, what does that do but put us back in the days of feudalism? Okay, I mean, that's why the two are kind of merged. Those two ideas are kind of merged in this idea of neo-feudalism. You've got this
Mhm.
this tech feudalism where people are just regressed to the age of serfs, and we have the vast majority of the human race is nothing but a bunch of peasants that no longer tries to compete with the techies. And then you've got this handful of techies that now doesn't really have to produce anything because everybody else is a peasant with lowered expectations. And this is really good for the earth. But meanwhile, they're living in palaces. They're still jetting around in their jumbo, jet airliners and their city-sized yachts. I mean, this is what they want. They want a world in which there's a master race that has all of these prerogatives, okay, but no merit, okay, because they never proved their merit. And then you've got everybody else who's nothing but a serf. And then you realize that, well, if you allow yourself to become a serf, your life is valueless. You've just basically, demoted yourself to zero value. So we need to keep our eye on what's happening technologically. We've got to put ourselves in a position where somehow we can control. We've got to upgrade the entire human species. This takes intelligence. We're not going to do it by breeding a bunch of people with IQs in the 70 to 80 to 90 range. I mean, we'll never be able to have the kind of society we want if we do that. We've got to start upgrading. Okay, we've got to start trying to make people more intelligent, trying to teach them more about the nature of reality. And you see that these oligarchs oppose that. The educational system is going downhill. The media is becoming more and more, you know, disgusting in various ways. They're against it, okay, because it opposes this class stratification, this neo feudal two-tier system that they want. Okay, with them at the top, with their tech singularity, and everybody else, a little drone or worker or soldier in the hive, living out at the periphery, subsisting on almost nothing, no expectations. Okay, you will own nothing and be happy, in the words of Klaus Schwab. You see, that's why this is what they're going for. Well, we're up against it. This is an extremely serious problem. We have to start. becoming the kind of people who will stand up for ourselves. Because it turns out that the people, the shepherds, the good shepherds that we've been following all these years, it turns out that they're a bunch of scum.